Welcome back, guys. I hope you're well. It's been a while since I did one of those, but to be honest, I've been crazy busy recently, and it is now almost midnight. I'm looking at the moon. It's not a full moon, but I'm looking at the moon through my window. It is very late, but I do want to get these clips to you that I'm going to talk about today because they're exciting, they're interesting, they're puzzling, and they do raise a few questions. I've got two clips for you guys today. The first one, again, I'm going to give you guys a pretty clear debunk for that one, but it still raises a bunch of questions because there's like a second layer to it. So stay tuned on that one. That just, I don't know, man. Even for me, it's not entirely clear what it is, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. So as we're watching it, feel free to leave your thoughts on this debunk down in the comment section below. And then the second clip is a fun one, okay? It's much easier to debunk, but again, as we're watching these, I always appreciate you guys leaving your thoughts down in the comments, kind of almost debunking it with me as you're watching it. You can leave a comment thinking of what it is, and then once I give my theory on it, you can edit your comment and say, oh, I was right, or I was wrong, or, you know, whatever. I would appreciate that. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, okay? Big important thing. Really helps the algorithm to push these videos out there, get more people on the skeptical side, and just maintain a little bit of healthy skepticism out there on UFO YouTube, okay? Because there's not a lot of it. But let's get into the first clip. Now, this one was allegedly recorded in Porterville, California, and it was recorded with a DJI drone. It doesn't have audio, this clip, but check this out. So again, it's not recorded with some kind of government equipment or maybe like a spy satellite from high above or anything like that. It is just a DJI drone, so a private person recorded this, and it shows this black sphere with some kind of yellow marking on the right-hand side there. You see this? And a lot of people are commenting. They're like, yeah, of course, I know the yellow marking. That's a hatch, bro. That's how the aliens get in and out. It's like, okay, yeah, all right then. I've seen a few comments like that where people genuinely say that. But check it out, right? So you see this black sphere, not just apparently, from looking at it, flying in the wind, but at some point you see it slows down and then almost flies backwards, right? Like, what's going on there? It's really weird. And now it almost seems to stand still for a second. Now it seems to go backwards. So I guess the reason why I wanted to share this clip with you guys is just because of the irrational movement. If it would just be the black sphere, like flowing with the wind, I don't think we need to talk about this at all. It's pretty clear what it is. But check this movement out, right? You saw this? Now the DJI drone pilot like tries to keep up with it. It's there on the left-hand side, but look what it does now. Now it flies to the right-hand side. And you know that these are the clips that I really like, when we're not just seeing an object, but instead we're seeing an object that does these irrational moves, okay, like left and right and zips around back and forth. It just lends a little bit more credibility to it. Here we get a close-up, and I'm going to pause there. You can see these yellow markings on the right-hand side. It left me puzzled, right? Because looking at it again, the movement is just strange. It is just strange, right? Now, I looked at this and I was like, could this be parallax effect? You know what parallax effect is? Imagine DJI drone 100 meters over the ground, right? Just for example. The ground 100 meters underneath. Now, we don't really have a point of reference how close to the camera of this DJI drone this object is. We don't know if it's like 5 meters over the ground, 50 meters over the ground, 70 meters over the ground. We don't know where it sits. We just can't know. Now, if it is fairly close to the DJI camera, right? And then the DJI drone flies forward, that means the ground will move very, very little because it's far away, right? In the far distance, while the object will move significantly more. It is almost an optical illusion. Okay, so the drone moves forward, which makes it look like the object moves backwards. But the floor, the ground, so to say, does not move very much because we're so high up. And this movement that you see here now is not the drone moving. This is the camera adjusting. Okay, so I think what we see here, including this quite drastic move down here in the end, right, where it flies off, I think is just parallax effect. It is the drone actually flying forward, while the object might be moving slightly with the wind, but not as severely as we see it in the clip, or as it gives off the impression. Now, what is it? Okay, I have a reason why I have this assumption and why I jump to that conclusion almost, okay? Because there is a great debunk for this object and what it is and what the yellow markings is. Because the smart people on the internet, and I can't take credit for this, someone else found this, okay? It's a balloon. As it is so often. But look at this debunk. Someone found the exact balloon, and there are no buts and ifs about it. This is exactly what it is. It's like, this is the balloon you can purchase. This is the balloon put into an angle. And then you can see the writing above it, right? It says cheers to, the 30 underneath. Cheers is here, 2 is here. Just like in this mock-up, which is like slightly blurred and the colors are adjusted for it. And even the 30 underneath is clearly visible. Do you see this? It is very, very clearly exactly that balloon. It's not a kind of close match. It's a 100% match. Okay, so that means the object that we're witnessing in this video is 100% a balloon. It's confirmed, okay? That is 100% confirmed. It's a balloon. If you have a different theory, I mean, by all means, please share it down in the comments. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on why there would be these exact markings on this, whatever it is, alien spacecraft, right? Are the aliens possibly just camouflaging themselves as a birthday balloon? They're like, very smart idea. We put 30 on our spacecraft. People will think it's balloon. We are very smart. Is it that? I mean, by all means, as I said, leave your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. But that's also why not for a second I assumed that this object might be moving the way it does. Now, some of this movement, especially the one that we see here towards the end, I think it's coming up now in a second. You'll see it like making a quite drastic move to the right-hand side. Now it's coming up. You see, I think, again, this is the drone moving to the left. It's not even wind. Some of it might be the wind pushing a balloon around, right? But you can see on the trees that it is not a very windy day. However, people have pointed out that there's more to this footage, okay? And this started to raise a bunch of new questions for me that I really at the beginning couldn't answer. So this clip is 5 minutes 53 long. This is the original clip that this little takeout, this little, 1 minute clip you just saw, has been taken from this. Now check this out. It shows the same object flying in the sky, but this time it's a cloudy sky, right? You can clearly see the black orb against the sky. Now look what it does. Look what it does. Look how it flies down. It seems to be descending towards the Earth. What is going on there? And I saw this and I was like, hold on a second. Now that's not really in line with what we just saw, right? Because now we kind of see this object moving much more on its own, flying down, right? It seems to be clearly flying down towards the ground. Well, let me tell you again, it's not moving at all in terms of verticality. This object is not going up and down. It's another optical illusion of this, what they call parallax effect. This, what you see here, is the drone ascending, and you can actually see it. Look at this clip just now. Look at it, and I want you to pay attention to the horizon coming into view, okay? The horizon where you see buildings and the fields, everything underneath. You can actually see the horizon going down because the drone is ascending quite severely, okay? Check this out. Look at the horizon. It's coming up in a second. There it is. Did you see this? You could actually see, and you see even more in a second. The object is going to descend even further. Look at the ground. Do you see this? You can clearly see the drone flying up, right? You just have to look at the buildings. You see it again, right? You can see some pieces like the shed, for example. I'll give you an example. This shed or whatever this is here, the street behind it is getting bigger because the drone is flying higher. So the shed, I don't know how to explain this any better, but the shed is moving towards you, in terms of the perspective, and the buildings behind it, whatever these are, these trailers or whatever, moving away from the shed, right? Because we're flying higher and opening up this gap here that is the street, okay? So, and you can see it across the whole shot. This is a clear evidence that the drone is severely ascending in this shot, okay? And here's what I think we see. This gives us a rough point of reference where this balloon actually is. This balloon is really high up. Okay, this balloon is not at all close to the ground. It is at no point, even in the other clip or in this video, 10, 15 meters, whatever as it looks, close to the ground, okay? So it's an optical illusion. In the beginning, the drone is flying really low, maybe 10 meters above the ground. And that's why you get these shots, right? We're filming up into the sky. And the guy probably filmed this object and was like, what the heck is that, right? So he has tried to ascend to the same altitude of this object, right? That's what he's doing right now. He's climbing and climbing and climbing to the height of this object, which is probably, and I keep saying object, it's obviously a balloon, but it is probably 100 meters over the ground. I'm just making it up as I go along. And you can kind of see in these still shots, it does move slightly, right? It does move a little bit with the wind. See that? Now he's climbing again. He's climbing higher, trying to gain the same altitude as this balloon. Now he's still underneath the balloon, right? He's still looking up at it in this shot. Now he keeps going. He will keep flying higher, gaining more altitude, again giving the illusion of this object descending towards Earth. And you can actually in these still shots see that the object is ascending. It's flying higher as a helium balloon would do. Okay, it would fly higher and higher until it kind of reaches a point of no return. But now he's ascending even further. Now he's at the same height of the balloon, roughly. Yeah, roughly. So you can see, again, when he's still, you can see the balloon slightly moving up into the sky. Now he's way above the balloon. He's maybe 10, 15 meters above the balloon now. Going even higher, and it's amazing actually, because at this point it gives the illusion, it's an optical illusion, that this balloon now is really close to the ground, right? And it feels like, hey, hold on a second, how did this object, or whatever it is, just make it from all the way up in the sky that close to the ground? But the truth is, the balloon still has almost the same altitude that it had in the beginning of the video. It's just, now the drone is way above it. Okay, so it's an amazing example of a parallax effect. And then towards the end of the video, he actually flies above it and films down. And you can, again, keep in mind, the drone is super high now. The drone is maybe 150 meters above the ground. The balloon is maybe sits at 100 meters above the ground. I'm making these numbers up, okay? I don't know the exact altitude of the balloon. But what I'm saying is it is not close to the ground at all. And that's how you get this parallax effect movement, where the slightest movement of the drone has almost no effect on the ground, but massive effect on the balloon because it's much closer to the camera. I hope I explained this in a way that makes sense. I feel like I'm just rambling like a maniac into this microphone right now. But I find this footage absolutely amazing and mesmerizing. And again, not to say that there might be not some clips where a bit of the wind picks up, pushes it around. That might be part of it. But you can see kind of the bushes around it. There's not a strong wind. It is literally just the balloon drifting in the wind. And this is what you see here. Just these few seconds there. This is the actual movement of the balloon. What you see here now, this is the movement. And again, that it stopped there for a second, that was the drone, propelling forwards just ever so slightly. It's going forward a little bit. So it looks like the balloon is stopping for a second, right? Fascinating. Other people pointed out, no shadows. Why are there no shadows, right? That makes absolutely no sense. Well, first of all, the balloon wouldn't cast a shadow that's even close to the balloon if it's like 100 meters above the ground. You just wouldn't see it. The shadow would be way off outside the camera frame. However, there's another point why there is no shadow at no point. Because if you look at some of these buildings, and especially here you can see it, the buildings on the left-hand side here, they don't cast a shadow because it's an overcast day, right? Look at the clouds. It's an overcast day. So on an overcast day, the clouds actually diffuse the light. They diffuse the sun. So there are no hard shadows. They are just soft shadows, okay? And especially something as small as a helium balloon flying 100 meters over the ground, I'm sure you can imagine it will not cast a shadow. And I've seen crazy theories about this where people said, well, I looked at the ground, nothing moves. There's no movement on the ground. It must be a static photo. And we're just like animating this object over it. And people had all kinds of theories. But I think, to be honest, it's just an incredible example of parallax effect and how powerful it is. And a lot of people said, well, this longer clip really puts into question what we saw in the shorter clip in the beginning on Twitter. But I think the opposite is the case. By seeing the drone flying up to its altitude, it actually explains it. It actually gives a lot of context and really makes so much sense to what we're seeing in this shorter clip that we saw in the beginning on Twitter. This one, which is great, really puzzling, but nonetheless, I'm giving it a huge, okay, massive one, because that's what it is. And it all started with this beautiful image of it clearly being a balloon. To be honest with you, I'm not sure I would have understood the whole thing, what's going on here, and debunked it as clear as I could if I wouldn't have started from this balloon clearly being just exactly that, a balloon. So we explained this clip. Oh God, Jesus, did you see this? Oh my God, UFO in my room. Actually, it has wings and now flies to my light. It's a freaking moth, okay? Jesus Christ, it just landed on my forehead. I don't know if you guys could see this. I don't think my camera is sharp enough for that, but it just literally, why would it do that? Anyway, guys, this one has been debunked. We're moving on to the next clip, and this one has been recorded in Denver, Colorado. Okay, I'm going full screen for this. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have audio. This is easier to debunk. And again, leave your thoughts as we're watching it down in the comment section below. If you know what it is, you have a suspicion. So you see but I can count 5 lights. One has just went off on the bottom left here at any time. It's 5 lights flying in the sky. But here's what's interesting about them, right? And when I first saw it, I was like, what's going on here? Like some of them come on, some of them come off. You see this one just disappeared. And then they also, especially in the beginning of the clip, it's just the 30-second clip. Do you see this? They fly towards each other. And they fly like horizontally almost, right? Not entirely. Note they do descend. They do fly towards the ground, but in a very horizontal manner, right? They almost flying horizontally. And then also you see these smaller orbs of light almost like coming out of the bigger ones, right? You see this up here? There's like a smaller orb, and from the right-hand side as well, smaller orb almost coming off the bigger one. So I saw this and I was like, this is a strange thing, right? What could this be? Now, what you notice immediately, or what I notice at least, is fire, okay? These colors, what you see here, and also like the trail it pulls behind, is a perfect match for fire, right? And a lot of people, yeah, well, of course, because them aliens and them got them fire atmosphere. Okay, cool, get that. Great argument right there. Aliens, fire, understood. But nonetheless, it does give a perfect match for what the color of fire would be. Now, first of all, the light that moves on the top left here, I don't want anyone commenting, yeah, but you didn't explain the light on the top left. That's just like a lens flare. That's like a reflection, I think, probably of the street lamp down here in the lens, and so it gets mirrored on the top of the image, okay? It's something like that. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's not an actual object, I don't think. Maybe it's a bug. It could also be a bug, the way it just moved there. That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about these objects here in the center. Now, it didn't take a lot of Googling to find out what it is. And by the way, look at this. There's a bit of firework there. Firework there as well. So maybe we can assume that there's some kind of celebration, right? Again, this was recorded in Denver, Colorado. The guy says, my wife and I were watching fireworks when comet-looking balls appeared out of nowhere. I didn't even read this before, but sorry. Comet-looking balls, bro. No, I apologize. No, this is a serious show. This is ridiculous. Why am I laughing about this? It's not even funny. Immature freaking joke. Just because someone says the word balls, okay? Balls on fire. All right, let's get serious. Let's get this debunked, because it can pretty easily debunked. And I hope at this point you've written your explanation down in the comments, what you think it is. Okay, you're ready to edit your comment whether you were right. Well, it is skydivers. It's skydivers at night. And here's a reference clip that I found, which is 14 years old. People have been doing this for a long time. So it's people either with like parachutes, right? So they fly more horizontally, or people with like wingsuits, also being able to almost fly horizontally, and they attach these flares, like really bright glowing flares, to their feet, I think they do, and that allows them to have this very movement. You see on the top right hand here, right? Don't be fooled. You see on the top right hand here, this is almost horizontal movement as well, right? He's flying almost horizontally. The trails look the same. You know, we're just getting a bit more detail here because they're zooming into it. And there's another clip that I could find that just, it's very impressive. You know, I can't imagine me doing that ever in my life. But it's just a bunch of skydivers that attach these flares to their foot and give the impression of some kind of comet flying towards the Earth. It's very impressive. It's very cool. And I mean, what we're seeing here might not be the exact same flare. There might be different flares. Some are slightly brighter and bigger. Some have longer trails. Some have shorter trails. But I think, especially from the night footage that was also obviously filmed from the ground, it is very clear, very, very clear that that's exactly what it is. Okay, so this clip from Denver, Colorado, I'm also giving it a juicy. Okay, giant. It's giant. I almost destroyed my room. That's how big that debunk was. Anyway, guys, that's it. Okay, only 2 clips today. We're running out of really good clips. Often people send me clips over on our Discord. They're like, oh, you got to debunk this one. And it's just a black screen with a little white dot. It's like, bruv, how am I? Why? Who cares? I understand you filmed this and this means a lot to you. I get it. When you were there, it looked like a silvery disc, but I can't see jack shit on that video. Okay, so send me your clips that are as clear as this one, as puzzling as the one that we saw in the beginning with the black balloon. I want those clips from you. Leave your references down in the comment section below. You can join our Discord. It's completely free. I'm hanging out there. Loads of other people hang out there. You can share your clips over there with me as well. I would love your clips. I'm going to put them on the show and debunk them if I can. If I can't, I won't, but I'll try my best. Share them with me on the Discord, link in the description. Guys, I appreciate your time, and I would appreciate you smashing the like button on this video on your way out. You can also subscribe for more. If you enjoy the content, please show it to me. Leave a comment, smash the like, and have a great day. I see you in the next one. I'm out. Bye.